you're wondering, what the hell is that box sailing along the ocean? That's the Zumwalt class destroyer. It is a new mod on the Steam Workshop for Sea Power. And this is one of those futuristic destroyers that was supposed to replace the Arleigh Burkes at some point, at least if I have understood correctly. These ships were supposed to be extremely stealthy due to their loadout. Or rather, their layout. It's like you're looking at the, let's say, seagoing version of a Star Destroyer. At least in design. It doesn't have a whole lot of radar return signature, or at least that's the plan. And it comes with all sorts of advanced goodies and gadgets. So I've decided to take this ship into the Hormuz mission, which is one of the missions that you can do as, of course, one of the standard NATO missions. So what do we have? Well, we have the Zumwalt. And this ship comes equipped with all sorts of radar systems of its own. Is it going to be enough to have the convoy reach here? I don't know. First, let's have a look at exactly what this thing is packing. We have 32 RIM 162 ESSMs, that's Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles, with a range of 27 miles. So that is much more to protect the ship rather than to reach out and kill something at range, because for that, we have these. These are the ERAMs, Extended Range Active Missile, or the Standard Missile 6. Note that most of the time, in the more vanilla scenarios, you're looking at the Standard Missile 2. This is a fairly modern brother. This thing has a range of 260 miles and flies at a maximum of 3,500 knots. That is some serious range and speed. We also have the HVP. The Hypervelocity Projectile. This is basically your railgun. It's a 155mm railgun. So this thing has a range of 150 miles and flies at 4,500 knots. Can be used against surface and aircraft. So we have plenty of options. We have Tomahawks, but these are Block 5 Tomahawks with a range of 243 miles. I don't know if they really have that much more capability, but we have a lot of them. We've got 40 of those missiles. Then we also still have the ASROC. This really is the only anti-submarine option that this ship has. This is, of course, the anti-submarine rocket. And with that, you have 13-mile range in order to deal with submarines. Thankfully, that's not a problem. They're not in this scenario. We also got a 30mm twin, or rather, duo. Come on, let me just... Can I pretty please orient the ship? Thank you. That's the Sea Whiz on the stern. Those are the 30mm. We have noisemakers and lots of chaff. And for those of you observant, yes, we have a hangar bay. And in that hangar bay, you can find an MH-60R, capable of doing ASW, which you will need. It also comes with 2 different buoys, that's interesting. And we have a strike loadout, which comes with 8 Hellfires. So that's your other option. If you do want something else, well, we got the MQ-8B, 3 of them, with a couple of Zuni rocket pods, or Hellfires. So, yeah, this thing packs a punch and a half. In this case, I'm going to say I want to have a Hellfire. I'm also very curious to see exactly what the difference is, according to this mod, between having those 2 different sonar buoys. You got the Difar, and you got the Dicass. Improved, blah, 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 different batteries. Selectable depth families. Ah, maybe you can drop this thing at a different depth. That'd be nice. Now, this is the Strait of Hormuz, and normally I would kind of want to sail under MCON, just so as not to get detected. I would let the helicopter do the detecting. But this ship has some of its sensors of its own, and they're phenomenal. You have the AN/SPY-3 air and surface search directed radar out to 172 miles. But hey, that's for the noobs. We have the AN/SPY-4. This has a range of 700 miles. Yes. At 700 miles, we have 200 target channels, much like the other one, so we can keep track of many, many, many different things. Beyond that, we have ESM measures, or rather we have ES measures, we have advanced optics, we even have shipborne forward-looking infrared. You have a hull-mounted sonar with a range of 40-mile passive. I mean, this was supposed to be the big next thing, and that's why it's getting all of these hyper-advanced sensors. Which puts this ship, of course, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years ahead of where you should have ships in this era. Anyway, who needs MCON anyway? I am, of course, not invulnerable with this ship, but I can have a damn good go at just trying to find some targets and then seeing if I can eliminate them. Interesting that this still uses the other model. That's a Sea Sprite, but according to the model, it's an MH60. Okay, wasn't expecting that. Hellfires have a range of 4.5 miles, so I do have some issues with range. If you've played the scenario, you probably know that these things are hostile, and that means they're fair game. Let's see if we can eliminate them with a well-placed shot from the railgun. So I'm going to tell the high-velocity projectile to go to town. Don't hold... Yeah, we can see the target. Oh, sorry, we can see the projectile. First time I'm firing one of these. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be, but if this thing is as accurate as I think it might be, then we're going to have a very dead ship very soon. Okay. More where that came from, please. And they have 2 of them. I love how they only just come out when you need them. And then they kind of fold back in to, of course, preserve their stealth profile. Can we also give this guy the good news with a salvo of 4? And then this guy? Hold on. I need to be looking at the projectile. Otherwise, I can't keep the camera on it. Hit. 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 See, this is what I mean when I say that this thing is basically from the future. You're going to get so much firepower out of this ship that it's arguably a little unbalanced. There we go. We already hit the ship a couple times. There's another hit. Oh, they sent a missile out. Wait, is that the AI trying to intercept my missiles? And we got a couple of shells going for the 3rd. And boom. What is that? GWS-20. That's a Sea Cat? I always tend to get those things confused. It's a sea something. They're 27 miles out. I think we're going to have to go with one of the other missile types. So they're 27 miles out. They're just on the border of the ESSM, so let's give them 1 ERAM each. That is apparently hidden in the bow somewhere. Just like that. Now, arguably, because these ships were so extraordinarily advanced, as well as had all sorts of technical difficulties, because they were a new class, I wouldn't be surprised if this one ship is more expensive than the tankers and their cargo that I'm escorting. I'm not sure exactly how valuable one of these things is, but weren't the Arleigh Burkes going for, what, like 2 billion a pop? Something ridiculous like that? Okay, I wonder if this missile is going to get intercepted, because it's still your... Well, it's not your box average missile, but it is a missile. Of course, we've already messed these things up a little bit. And as such, they might not have a whole lot of defenses left. I'm also curious to see what their weapon cone is. They don't have a weapon cone. They're just still guided to the Zumwalt. Okay, then. Oh, you're already dead. Apologies. Okay, so that's the first wave eliminated. Now, with that extreme range anti-air radar, or rather air search radar, I am fully expecting to see aircraft from very, very far away. I think this is a weird version of the mission. I'm still seeing an A7E here, which is just armed with guns. Anyway, I'm expecting helicopters and or some assets along the line of MiGs, maybe some anti-ship batteries. So let's pack an MQ-8. Did you use... I also used a different model for that. Oh, right, because the MQ-8's what? The Fire Scout, right? The MQ-8B? It's that drone that can land on helicopters. It's even got a laser designator. Look at you, be fancy. Okay, give me something else to shoot. Request granted. We have a couple of bog hammers. These bog hammers are only really packing a 12.7mm machine gun in order to defend themselves. There's 3 of them. We have them on radar, and we instantly have them identified as well. I don't know how, because the search radar from the MH60 immediately identified them as exactly what they are. Whereas normally, I believe, a radar just says, hey, there is something here. Doesn't exactly tell you what it is, but there we go. New radar contact designated, classified as hostile C7010, that one. So yeah, instant. I wonder if I can slow them down some by going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll let the Hellfires do the rest of the work. So here come the guns again. They reload in, what, 5 seconds? 2, 3. Okay, so now every one of them is going to have 1 projectile hit, which might end them, to be sure. If not, we can just tap them out with the MH60 and the Hellfires. Now, when in sea power would you use one of these ships? Oh, okay, that was a bit too deadly. I am not actually sure, because this thing, it just defeats basically anything that it comes up to. Because, well, maybe not anything. I wonder. If I put this thing up in a fight against a Kirov class, what's going to happen? Let's have a look. So, let's see how this thing does against not 1, but 2 Kirovs. These are Kirov of the Franze class, and they are extraordinarily dangerous to most ships. Whether that is true against my ship, I'm not so sure. What they can, of course, do is send lots and lots and lots of anti-ship missiles at me. They have 20 of these SSN-19As out to 483 mile range. This is the fictional version of 1994. But I have something even more modern, because I have the 2030s version. That's an even more modern version of the ship I just showed you. This one comes equipped with the LRHW, the long-range hypersonic weapon. This thing has a speed of 10,000 knots, a range of 300 minimum, to a maximum of 2,500 miles. So, if I were to project that maximum range, theoretically, I could hit somebody anywhere within this circle, give or take a mile or 2. Yeah, so you park 1 Zumwalt in the middle of the Atlantic, and as long as you have a detection, you can eliminate something. Now, what I'm kind of waiting for is these things to start shooting, but they're not actually doing that, so I might need to motivate them a little bit. I'm going to say, shoot me. I want to see how good I am with my Zumwalt at defeating all those incoming missiles. There we go. I thought I told you to launch as well, friend. Come on. Oh, yeah, right. I right-clicked on my ship, and they don't know where my ship is, so they couldn't exactly launch yet. Alright, let's turn the sensors on. Air search, surface search, active sonar. We got low-frequency and high-frequency active sonar. For good measure, I can shoot down that Tu-95. Can I get that done with this? Engaging track 700. Birds away, track. Oh, you use the rim. Okay, fine. That's the rim. Yeah, that's the same weapon we saw before. It's the same thing. Alright, good. Now, I want to know how well I can defend, and I also want to know how much damage I can do if I have one of those hypervelocity things. So, we're going to target this thing with 2 hypervelocity weapons. Okay, I think we're starting to detect the incoming missiles now, because my ship is already starting to engage those missiles. Nah. Well, no, actually they are, because they spotted them. And they're out, they're out almost 400 miles, but they're out at 87,000 feet, which means I can potentially engage them. I'm not sure how, but this thing seems to think it can actually engage them. As for those hypersonic things, here's one. It is at 87,000 feet and climbing. Speed 5,000 knots. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. Look at their seeker. I'm not so sure how we're launching all these RIM 174s. That's the ERAM. That's not supposed to be in range yet. Because those missiles are too far. They're at 340 miles. Alright. Anyway, I'm going to turn away from the threat. And this is to make sure that my 30mm guns on the stern can try and get some damage in. Speed, 10,000 knots. Jesus Christ. These wars are just faster by the looks of it. The thing is, though, with the Zumwalt, I have potentially a bit of a problem, as I don't have more of those ERAMs. So I'm down to my ESSMs, my Evolved Sea Sparrows, and that's going to have to stop all of those incoming missiles at a range of 27 miles. Yeah, good luck with that. Also, what I'm very curious to see is how good is this hypersonic projectile at breaking through the defenses of a Kirov, if at all. Look at that, I'm closing at almost 2 miles per second. Okay then. It does bring me back to the original question. In what sort of a situation would you use these? Entirely up to you. It's a single player game, so if you want to use these in a normal scenario, I mean, you can. I don't know if that would be feasible, but you can. Oh, they intercepted it? Yes! An SA and 20B got it. Well done, boys. Well done. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, let's see how good my missiles are going to be against all those SSN-19s, because I do think... Well, actually, they were going to run out of range, right? But these things are closing on me. So with a combined closing speed, maybe we actually have range, and they will not run out of fuel. They're definitely searching. The one thing that I'm surprised that the Zumwalt doesn't have, but that might be more in contrast with the Arleigh Burke, is an active sensor jammer. They got their ESM that allows them to listen out, essentially, but they don't have a jammer in that whole package of gear. So that could be a weak spot. Are you seriously turning around? I was thinking about it. Yep, we intercepted a bunch of them. The thing is, that's only half. Yep, 3 of them made it through. And then, of course, there's the next wave. You... What? Oh, now you're shooting at that... you're shooting at the Tu-95 with a railgun. Okay, I'm not sure if that'll hit, but I'm interested in seeing how that's gonna go. It is good to know that despite how fast those high-velocity projectiles are, they can apparently get intercepted. Because as it seems that the latter part of their journey, they slow down a bit. And the Soviets apparently picked them up and immediately knocked them out. This thing is changing course? Right, so this is not a projectile, this is actually a missile for the game. Because projectiles typically don't change course. There's the aircraft. A projectile is also not going to be interested at all in your chaff, your flare, your decoys. Yeah, Zumwalt now has what, vampires. Bye-bye. That's you gone. The hell? Guess he's searching for a target. Top speed, 32 knots. I guess some things still have to adhere to the laws of physics. Such as a top speed. There's no outrunning these things, of course. I wonder if we can outshoot them. We're classifying them as hostile missiles, sure enough. Lost track. 2,000 feet. Is that the leader? Guess it could be. Yep, here we go. 22 miles out. Would you like to engage that? There we go. 1, 2. Oh, these are your VLS. Right. I hope it's enough, dude. Because if not, that's going to be a very expensive ship that I've just sunk. No, they got all of them. Yep, well done. Alright, now I'm going to close in a bit and see if I can nail those Kirovs with my railgun. Yeah, about that. I got hit by a shipwreck, and now I have a shipwreck. So, the Zumwalts, as good as they are not invulnerable. They're not invincible, and something else that happened to me is I ran out of missiles. I only have 4 ESSMs, so against the Kirov, as good as this ship is, it's still vulnerable. You might be looking at a tech gap for, what, 40 years? Well, 36. This is from 1994, fictional. Zumwalt is from 2030s. So, yeah, I guess it could be 40 years, if it's like 2034. Nevertheless, getting hit by a shipwreck still ruins your day. Whether you're from the 2030s or from the 1980s. It's just not good for business. If you want to install this mod, please take note, it is not as simple as clicking the link in the description and then clicking subscribe and you're done. You have to install Sealifter in order to get this thing to work. That is also linked in the page for the Zumwalt. So install Sealifter, and otherwise this will not work. There is a description on there how to do it. If not, check out the Arleigh Burke video that I did, because in the second part there I explain how to make this thing work. Or rather, how to make Sealifter work and how to install that, because it's a bit more involved. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have fun with the Zumwalt. Let me know in a comment, what are you going to do with it? Like, what scenario are you going to put it in? Because I'm not so sure yet. So if you have any good ideas, by all means, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon for more.